That was one thing where I guess you could say I was the life of the party, was definitely in that, because we would always sign up for more than we needed to.
There was years where I was in there every single day, almost all day, if I wasn't showing, because no one would sign up.
You weren't in there that much.
Yes, I was. One year, Roxy and I were in there every single day by ourselves because no one signed up.
And the reason why it was so important, and it kind of pissed me off that no one was ever involved, was that was one of the main ways for our club to raise money. And
we're the poorest club.
Which I think the only reason is because our club, the whole idea of it is basically to give our money away.
And be community service.
It's like a group club, like charity club, basically.
Yeah.
And no one, or not many, really cared. And my senior year, we even set up a new event from our club, which we did a cornhole tournament.
Oh God!
And I mean that was fun.
We had a lot of people.
The second year was good.
We had a lot of people.
Was that the first year?
Yeah,
when we did it in the building.
Yeah, that was our first year doing it.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
We had so many people show up. The only
we probably had like 60 people.
So like Brett, me, and Noah, and one of my friends Roxy were like practically in charge of the shit. We showed up. We got
basically you, me.
Yeah,
Noah.
We got everything set up. We were doing money. We were taking people's tickets, like trying to figure out brackets. We were like doing good. And then here swoops in some person that.
Maddie.
Okay, we can say names here. Whatever. I don't give a shit. Maddie swooped in and thought she knew what the fuck she was doing, and she was messing up our brackets, like trying to figure out brackets. Took her like 30 minutes. People were waiting. We had a lot of people that year. We had probably 60 people. Because
Not in the thing.
It was new, but they showed up to watch.
We had a lot of people watch, which I was very surprised.
It was cool though. It was awesome. It was awesome, and we went around like.
I was so proud of it too, because it was something we did. We went to companies around town asking for some sort of prizes or sponsors. So we went to like every fast food joint, explained it. What was going on. We were trying to get prizes together.
Set up
and
flyers.
People gave coupons and a bunch of other stuff. So by the end of it, we probably had like $400 in prizes.
So if you
and then
won,
we like
that's
split
what you got.
it up into the teams and then each division. And then it was so much money for you to play, but then that money just got raised
I think
to
it was $10
a team. I think it might have been $10 or $20 a team or something.
Yeah, and then we had like if you wanted, like, because snow cones are a big hit in the junior leader stand. It was like
free
we had
snow
coupons for free snow cones,
which people stole.
Yeah.
And I mean we had what 7 boards set up,
maybe 8,
and we probably had like 8 boards roughly put up. So we did a lot that was really good, and I was like, oh, man, this could be awesome. Like we could do more.
Being young kids too, and doing that by ourselves because our leader wasn't in there.
Yeah,
it was
didn't
cool,
do anything.
but it was also very stressful.
It was,
maybe
but it wasn't that bad.
Maybe not necessarily for you.
I wasn't
but
that stressed.
I was up there with the people doing money, and then he made it an option where they could do online. And sign up that way,
like 2.
Which was awful because then we didn't know who was online. Some of the online stuff wasn't working, and it was just. And then everybody was waiting for like 30 minutes on the brackets, and it was just
fault.
It was and it was just stressful that way. But other than that, it was really fun.
It did go by pretty quick. We thought about it, and I think next year if we would have done it, and I would have been in charge, not Maddie, where it actually would have been good. We probably would have done like a double elimination.
Oh yeah.
But it was really cool. It was fun.
We had plans.
It was a lot of fun, and we could have done a lot more. It's just sadly, it was something that was just an idea that popped into my head, and I brought it up in a meeting. We started a committee, and we said, "Fuck it, let's do it." And it actually turned out quite amazing.
It was great. We made a lot of money from it.
And then it's like, and it didn't cost us anything either. No. So that was like the great part. The only thing it might have cost us was flyers. And sadly,
so then
this year,
leading up to that, so then we had COVID. So there was 1 year where we didn't do it at all. So then last year they decided, okay, even though it's show and go, let's try to do a cornhole tournament. They didn't get sponsors. They hardly put flyers out besides like a week before county fair. Mm-hmm. And they were like asked people for boards. Well, some people, me, didn't show up with some boards because people didn't care. And no one showed up. Like, there was absolutely no one. They ended up canceling the tournament because not alone did they not have as many boards, let alone they didn't have as many boards. No people showed up to play at all, which I thought was kind of funny because it was very unorganized, very last minute, and especially because it wasn't a normal fair, most people weren't going to show up. So then that goes into this year. This year they decided, okay, let's do the cornhole tournament. Very last minute. Didn't get any sponsors, didn't do any flyers. They put it in our fair schedule. And like put a little flyer in our fair schedule that they like mailed to all the 4-Hers or whatever. And I went up there. I did not help out with it. They asked me if I had boards. I told them I did. Didn't hear anything back from the extension agent. And then I went up there when they had it before the cattle show on Friday, and there was like 2 sets of boards, and it was a bunch of kids just throwing them around. And there wasn't a bunch. It was like 2 families that had lots of kids. We're just throwing them back and forth. It wasn't a tournament. They weren't scoring. Really, besides one team, there was no sponsors. It was the most boring thing I've ever seen. It was awful. It just
shows how when you have some of the best 4-Hers at the time leave, everything goes to hell.
Yeah, I know. And then when the other people stay there and they try and they try and they try, and then nothing happens or nothing changes, they get burned out and they're like, okay, screw this, I'm not helping. And that's why our numbers went down and no one started showing up to meetings because nothing productive was getting done. We didn't do any type of donation. We used to do like food banks and food drives and stuff. We didn't do that. Like, that just reminded me, we were supposed to have like a food trailer at county fair. It was a contest and we could win money. Like, we could win up to $5,000 of people donating food and us putting it in some sort of trailer. I don't think they ended up doing that. And we voted on it.
Probably not. Oh, not only that, the Color Me Green Run.
Oh, yeah.
That used to be something
that
we
was
used to do.
Very fun.
Which other organizations besides 4-H do stuff like that. So it's basically just like a collar run. Other organizations do it. Basically, it'd be like a 5K or a mile run, and they throw like colored powder on you and spray you with water or throw water balloons, vice versa. I've seen other people do it for other events, but 4-H probably in 2016 started to do it because they were like, well, 15.
Maybe sooner than that.
It was around that time because that was when that stuff kind of came about, and it was like, oh yeah, fitness, 4-H, let's do that. So they were like, let's do Color Me Green Run because green's 4-H color, and
it was very fun.
We were on the committee. It never ended up being anything really big.
No, but I feel like we made, there was a good amount of people.
It was decent. So basically we would take donations of either money or food, and that was how you got in for to go to our local food pantry. And then you would run through, and we had like a shit ton of water balloons, and we'd throw them at you as you're running and throw powder at you, and you'd be wearing like a white shirt and all that and get stained.
And then
and let's just say we always ended up with leftover powder.
That's what I was going to say. And we had
balloons.
Fun.
So we would go nuts. And let's just say we ended up with green hair there for a second.
And our parents got so mad because one year we had a show the next day and we had green everywhere and we couldn't get it all out.
We were coated. I think I had spots on my hands and arms that were still green for several days.
Yeah.